Hey everybody, welcome to the Bourbon Battalion. I'm Bobby, and hey, what's up, Daniel? It's Blendsday. So let me go in here and do a couple of things. And so hey, hump day's here. It's time to try some stuff, blend some stuff. I'm glad you guys could make it. Might even have an appearance from the Gunny come in. I don't know if he'll get behind the camera, but he'll be present. So real quick, some cool things coming up. I'm probably going to run a little bit shorter than normal. I talked to Adriana, and she goes live at 8 o'clock. And she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know who went where. And I was like, hey, don't worry about it. It's hard to figure out. I get it. So for those that want to hang out and do this for a while, I'm going to do my normal time like I normally do. Adriana Whiskey Mountain is going to jump on at 8 for her very first live. So I encourage supporting everybody in the tubes. But I'll still be here doing my thing because I have a trifecta tonight. So I call it a trifecta 3x3 because I have 3 knob creeks that are 3 years apart. So I'm doing the knob 9, the knob 12, and the knob 15. And we're going to try them and taste them and see what we like about them. And then we're also going to go through at the end and say, well, you know what? If I put a little bit of this and a little bit of this, is there a blend that I think can make something taste a little bit better? Now, granted, I love all of these, but that doesn't mean you can't make something better. So, and I don't always anticipate doing a blend, but, talking to some people, we were banging around some ideas, and this is one that I happened to look up at my shelf, and I was like, huh. So what are things coming up in the future? So I'm definitely going to go through, hey, Cheech, glad you could jump in. I'm definitely going to do some Texas stuff in the future. A lot of the stuff that I'm going to do with Texas is new to me, very new to me. But I've got some great samples in from Iron Root. I've got some good samples in from Balcones. And what I'm going to do with those samples is I'm going to go through and blind rank them. So those are going to be some really fun things going down the road. I know that I'm going to do in the future, I'm going to do a series, just a collector series, things that I've collected. Hey, Richie Z, glad you could make it. I'm going to go through and do some collections things. So if you don't know, I sit on bookers. I love bookers, like really love bookers. And so I've been sitting on a bunch of them because they're hard to find more of. And so I plan on doing a bookers one, and it'll be like probably a 3 to 4 part segment because I have that many bookers that I haven't cracked in a while. So hopefully by the time I get to that, I'll bring in some new stuff. This Friday, and this just happened recently. This Friday, I will be going live on here at 7. I'm going to double check the time, but it will be up here. Me and Perry from This Is My Bourbon podcast are going to be on here together. And we're going to be looking at a couple different drinks. I think we're going to do like 3 or 4, and then we're going to blind them and just rank them. So we haven't decided exactly which ones we're going to do, but we've been talking back and forth. But we know for a second. Hey, Adriana. Yeah, you only can have time to pop in for a small bit. But just because you popped in, I'm just going to show what you're going to be missing while you're trying your other stuff. So I'm just messing with you. Congratulations on your first live tonight. I'm excited for you. I wish I could jump on. Maybe if you're still going, I'll pop on later. But glad you guys could make it. So the reason why I was thinking about doing this is, I'm a Knob Creek guy. Honestly, I'm a Beam guy, right? So I like the bookers, I like the knobs and that stuff. And I was really like, how much different, if I put them side by side, do I think that they would really be? So in that, I wanted to go through and get a really good idea of what did I think? Would they be something that I thought one was way better or not? So having said that, we're going to go through and crank through these guys. And then at the end, if I feel like, hey, one of them is way better than the other, put a splash of a couple of different ones together and see, can I make it better than what I thought it was, even though I like all these. But you have different things to work with, right? So when you think about that, you talk about You have a 15-year-old, so you have a lot of age. And in that, you're also going to have some tannings. But in the Knob 9, you're talking about 120 proofer. So that proof point is going to come up. So you might find that there's this really good balance between some sweetness, some age, because Knob Creek 12 is delicious. I mean, I've went through bottles upon bottles upon bottles of Knob 12. I'm very fortunate that I have one left. So I will be on the search. But so we're going to start with the Knob Creek 9, mostly because I want to start with the youngest, highest proof and work my way up. So I want to get the shock and awe over with soon. So Knob Creek 9, it's the only one that I actually have that's open. I had this recently. I think I had it when Adriana was talking about Knob. So I was like, all right, let me go revisit my Knob Creeks. So I always go through and I always put a little bit underneath my nose. I just want to see what it's going to turn into. So the Knob 9, you know, and it's funny because when you think of like a 9, I mean, that's got a really nice dark color for a 9. It really is. It's quite pleasant. As I look at it, I can't tell a ton of difference between the 9 and 12 as far as appearance goes. The 15 I can, but the 9 and 12, not so much. Thanks, Cheech. You know, it's really funny. I was just looking to go in here and wrench some people, but I think because I'm on StreamYard, it is more challenging. So going in and wrenching someone on here, that's a noob thing I got to figure out. So, but hopefully I think I have some in there so somebody can go through and figure it out. So yeah, you know, this is just such a pleasant on the nose. It's so fruit forward. I mean, just big, like big citrus, big fruit. Yeah, StreamYard is different. It is different. So it's all those things I'm learning. You know, typically I would just jump on my phone and be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And so, but I'm okay. You know what? Usually I have a very small select group of people that jump on, and I don't typically have to worry about too much. Everybody in here is class act, great people. So, but I don't know. I think there's a couple people on here that had been reading wrenches before. Hey, Mike, glad you could come in from Iowa. Gunny just came in the house. He's going to sip with us. So I've still just been smelling it. So I haven't even got into tasting it. So if you want to give me a glass, I'll pour you some hooch. So if you notice, I'm wearing one of my Bourbon Battalion shirts. I started making my merch and getting all that stuff organized. If you like what I'm doing on here and all that stuff, you know, I do have a Patreon. It's in my bio. I also have a PayPal. My PayPal is just paypal.me/Bourbon Battalion. So anything that comes in to me, and I've had some stuff in the past, goes straight into the bar, straight into making the studio better, making the sound better. I even just recently met with someone about going through and getting a new segue video put in here. So, man, so cheers, everybody. Happy hump day. I'm telling you right now, there is no way I would ever pull 120 proof off of that. Not for me. The Gunny gave me a look like. So I am definitely a high proof guy. So I'm just like, hey, this is like liquid happiness. But I did warm up, so I won't say that I've just taken it straight off the neck. I didn't warm up with this. I have warmed up with Elijah Craig 94 because that's my decanted bourbon. Hey, Mr. Stahl. Nice to see you, buddy. I saw you got your package all safe and sound. So my impression of the Knob 9 it's really good. It's really good. It's 120 proof, but I've had 120 proof that's hotter. You know, I mean, you think of that review we did yesterday, right? The review we did the other day, we did it on the Woodinville cast strength, and it was only what 121.2, and it was way bigger mouthfeels than this.
It's not hot. It's tingly.
It's tingly. It is tingly. So, but now that let me tell you that if you're out somewhere goofing around and you stumble across a Woodinville cast strength because they're all store picks, you want that. And I'm telling you right now, don't go on your first 3 to 4 sips and tastes. Wait till you come back to the second on that. That stuff is freaking a chocolate bomb. So yeah, I think the thing that hey, Jacob Enriquez is in here. I know he just got a bottle. So yeah, you know what? The thing about this is I'm interested because even though it's got the proof, I'm not getting tannings. I mean, I'm not getting any tannings at all. I'm not getting any dark wood or oak on the back of my finish, which is where I'd normally pull it up. And even a 9-year, you would expect to pull some wood notes, but I don't know that I'm really pulling any wood notes. There I'm getting a smidge. I'm getting a smidge on the back. I'm also getting some cocoa all of a sudden. Getting like a little cocoa on here. So also, hey, listen guys, I'm on Discord and the Wiscords. Jump into the Wiscords. If Richie Z or somebody can put up the link to Wiscords, that'd be great. You can find me in there at #Bourbon Battalion. It's a great place to come in and talk to your favorite tubers, develop relationships. You can talk, you can text, you can get to know everybody. So I highly encourage any of you guys to get in there. If you don't end up getting a link, let me know. I'll send you a link. That's a good place to be, Richie. Or if anybody in here has the Discord. If not, then I'll put it up at some point. That just gets better as it goes. I mean, this is going to be challenging to figure out which one needs something, because these are all really freaking good. These are really good. Really good. All right, so we know what this one is. So I'm going to pour just a smidge more. You have some set aside in yours? Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm going to put some Knob Creek 9 back in my glass because I want it to sit for a while. Yeah, we'll just put a little bit in it. Yeah, so the Knob Creek Single Barrel 9 is really pleasant. If you're a person that likes proof, you're going to like it. If you're a person that doesn't like proof, it mellows out. Don't let the 120 scare you away. I've had way hotter and way bigger 120s than that. And it is delicious. It absolutely opens up as it goes. Take your time. I would challenge you to make sure that you're advancing your palate. Mr. Shits. Cheers, Mr. Shits. You are the luckiest son of a gun. I swear to God, you win so much shits on here. It isn't even funny. Congratulations, bud. And so I just had to say that because I know that he wins like crazy. But the Knob Creek 9, listen, it's readily available. You can find it all day long, almost anywhere you go. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend the Knob 9. So next up is the Knob 12, right? The Knob 12, it's a 100 proofer. And I have to deal with the wax. So I know if Matt is watching, Matt's going to be like, stupid flipping wax. It's going everywhere. Ugh. I have to literally, I know wax looks cool and all that stuff, but man, is it a mess. It's a mess. I have wax everywhere now. I just try to go ahead and get as much of it off as I can. So, hey, when Whiskey Zuki watches this later at some point, he's going to love that. So, knob 12 in the glass. Splash over here. You know, I'll tell you, in the bottles, it didn't look like it was going to be that much different in color, but now that I poured it, it's definitely darker in the glass. So I'm kind of surprised because in the bottle it doesn't look much different, but in the glasses, it's obviously different. Yeah, there's definitely a difference here. So this is the 100 proof 12. Now listen, I know how good this is. I've had this. I have so many empty bottles of this laying around, it isn't even funny. Because back in the day when I could travel, I could find this stuff. And then all that stuff changed. So I haven't been able to use my frequent flyer status to mule as much alcohol as possible at United's expense. But I will tell you this, if you didn't know this, when you travel, if you go and properly box your liquor up, you can send it as a check bag at no extra charge than what you would normally have. And if you're one of those people that get it for free, you can have up to 3 bags. I've literally shipped 3 cases of alcohol home for free. Man, that's just the knob 12. The Gunny's giving me the whole, I like this because it's not 120 and it's delicious. Hey, Live Wire. Good to see you on here, Ben. Hold on. I got so many names in my head. I think it's Sean. Maybe Sean. Sean, cheers, buddy. Glad you could jump on tonight. So the knob 12 on the nose, man, is it
Nice.
It's real nice. You know what? You know, like on the other one, the knob 12, the knob 9 was really fruit forward to me. This is more of a, I mean, the very first note I had on it was like cocoa. I had this weird cocoa. I don't know. I've been on like some weird cocoa thing. I don't know if it's ingrained in my brain or something. I mean, it's floral. There's definitely floral notes in this. Daniel, you are not wrong. I bought my first bottle in knob 12 and I plowed through it. And I was like, I got to get more of that. And then every time I found some, I just bought it. Because it was, you know, the price point on it is fantastic. You're talking, it was just MSRP. And everywhere I found it was MSRP. Oh, okay. Well, you know, it's really funny. The reason I say that, Mr. Shits, is that I just spent some time today talking to someone that has a YouTube channel, and it's Livewire. It's just not Livewire whiskey. So thanks for clearing that up. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, the knob 12 is just, man, it's so good on the nose. I haven't even got to the palate. I know what's going to be on the palate. It's just going to be happiness and joy. And I think of Ren and Stimpy doing happy, joy, and all the good
You mix it with a Maduro.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a cigar smoker for sure. Yeah, a Maduro, definitely a Maduro. Something with some body to it. Oh, is that coating?
Nice.
That is such a good coater. And you can tell it from the legs. I mean, the legs on this, the viscosity of this, As soon as it comes in, it instantly goes straight to this coating. You have this flavor explosion of really just a lot. But if you know me, I don't really try to go for flavor on my first drink. I go for, man, what's it coating like? Am I going to have a good finish? Am I going to have this full body palate experience? And that's what Knob 12 does. I mean, it just brings this heavy coating that you just, the whole palate is engaged. And it's so nice. There's cherries on this. I'm pulling out some cherries. I mean, you know, the things that let you know that you have a bourbon is your sweets, right? You have all these different things that are sweet, whether you have a caramel or a vanilla extract or anything on that sweet boundary tells me it's a bourbon. Now, what I start looking for afterwards is like, okay, am I getting spice notes? Am I getting floral notes? Am I getting chocolate notes? And all those different things tell me the same thing that a lot of you guys know is what's my percentage of malted barley? You know, usually anything above 6% starts really throwing some cocoa notes out there. And then with the rye, you know, with a rye, I usually am expecting it to be spicy, picking up some spices, maybe some cinnamons, nutmeg, allspice, floral notes, big floral notes. All those kind of things are what I'm expecting for. I will definitely let you know for sure, Adriana, my impression of Knob 15. I'll probably end up like, I know I'm going to like it because I've had it. It's just, do I like it enough that I'm not going to drink it all? That's the problem. Now, I can find it. Knob 12 just released on reservebar.com for $60. Well, you know, it sounds like we got to figure out how to get that and then ship it to Texas as like my very, very famous vinegar barbecue sauce that I ship to Texas often because I'm like a big Texas barbecue guy. I'll tell you what, it's the greatest thing ever at UPS. They's like, would you be willing to let us try some of your barbecue sauce? You ship a lot of it. And I was like, well, it costs a lot of money to get my barbecue sauce. So, but it's really funny. You guys know what I mean. Man. Yeah, so the Knob 12, I do have some weird. I have a spice note. I have a spice note going on mid palate. I mean, it's sweet. I mean, it's really corn forward on the front of your palate. It's just a really sweet, nice taste coming in.
Might need another little splash of that.
And but the coating. Now, you know, I'll tell you on my finish right now, I'm getting a little numbness on the back of the tongue, which is kind of weird because it's only 100 proof, and that's like very medicinal for me. But the finish, man, the finish is long. It's a long finish for sure. Now it's, whew, wow, that just changed to maple syrup. Man, you know, and I know I'm looking at all the names on here, and I know you guys do this stuff as much, if not more than I do, at least as much. You know, spend your time with it. Take it for a walk. Don't be in a hurry when you're trying stuff. It will change. I did not have any hint of maple syrup on this at all. And just boom, maple syrup. It's like, hey, I'm here. What the hell? Why didn't you mention me? You're a dick. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm getting there.
These notes define your zone.
Yeah.
For me, maple syrup means it's getting in my zone.
Yeah. No, I agree. You know, and maple syrup, you know, is very key. I mean, to me, because you get the normal things of a bourbon, right? You know, your normal notes are your caramels or your vanillas, brown sugars, and those kind of things. But not every time do you get maple syrup. Maple syrup is so unique. And it's not maple from the line where it's light, and it's not even pancake syrup or pancake stuff. This is maple syrup. This is like somewhere between maple syrup and the maple frosting on a cream stick, which is
Ouch.
let's just make maple cream sticks are really good. I can't have them anymore, or I wouldn't be able to wear my new merch. But and that completely changed. Literally, just while we're sitting here talking, that completely changed. And now it's reminded me why I drank so much of it. Reminded me, man, that's so good. But the thing is, it is really good. But I'm excited to think in my head. I'm already like, I have this stuff going on here. I was like, well, for me, I think that 120 proof might like bring it up a little bit. That 100 proof is good, and I can drink it all day long. But that 120 doesn't have any presence right now that I'm thinking that's going to interrupt that 12. But it's going to bring it up some. So I might jump it up to like maybe a 107, like 107 maybe. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see because that's going to happen.
I think what you're going to find is this needs a little bit of this.
Well, eventually they're all going to be blended. So I do think the 15 will probably need something. In my head, when I think of a 15-year-old and I'm looking at it, so I'm instantly thinking big wood finish. You don't get that dark without it being a level 4 char and age. And you can ruin stuff. You get out of that, 4 to 6 years? And you can rough it to 8, but 4 to 6 years is your sweet spot. So it's anything beyond that is a big gamble. You're thinking the base of the 12, right? 12 may be the base. Hey, Mike, glad you could jump in, bud. So, So the knob 12 could be the base.
Oh, yeah.
Dana, you might be right on this.
Yeah. This could need this in one direction.
The 12 could need bumped up and proof from the 9, and then we'll see what the 15 brings. If you haven't had knob 12, do yourself a favor. Seek it. Don't pay an inflated price for it. If you can't find it for a good price, reach out to the community. At least reach out enough to maybe get a sample. Because the good thing is a lot of us are willing to help people out with a sample because we've gotten samples. And the idea is trying something to figure out if you're willing to buy it. You may say, hey, listen, this is a $60 bottle for me. You may taste it and be like, dude, I'd go to 80 for that. That's your call. And guess what? Your call is right because it's about you, not about anybody else. So let's break this. I got to pour a little bit of this in here because I got to have some blending power. So, boy, the cork on that's great. Now, I should never say what I'm about to say, but I am going to say it. I've been very blessed and very fortunate. I have never, ever had a cork break on me as I get ready to open a new bottle.
You probably shouldn't have said that.
I've never had it happen. But I usually take my time and I have to do my due diligence. Okay, so now we're going to knob 15. We've already done 9. We've done 12. Now we're going to 15. So as I make as short work as I can of this nasty wax that's going to make a mess everywhere. Ugh. This one isn't horrible so far. I don't have shrapnel everywhere. All right. Not so bad. That was pretty clean. Look at that. I had a knob wax that came off all in one piece. That right there tells me I'm doomed. I got to pull this wax off the top, though. I don't want it there. Okay, so as I always got to crank it first. Hey! The gunny thought for sure it was going to break because I said something.
No, they were smart to put a synthetic cork on.
Yeah, they do have synthetic corks, which makes it happy. I've seen synthetic corks break,
Pop out of the housing.
pop out of the housing. But being an ex-wine guy, I've got corkscrews for days. Yes, I absolutely agree. That wax needs to flip and go. It is a debacle.
Nah, it's signature.
It's signature. They can signature, put that flipping wax somewhere else. So this is my 9. This is my 12. Left to right. All right, pour in the 15. Look at the darkness of this glorious bastard.
Nice.
Ooh. Ooh. That smells. That smells like something Adriana would like. Nice. It is. It's just the nastiest break-in plastic ever. But you know, the Knot 15 came off in one piece. That's like so surprising. I thought for sure it would just go everywhere. But look at the color of this bad Chad.
It's kind of cool that it's 100 proof too.
Yeah, it's 100 proof. It's a limited edition 100 proof. Seeing if there's any, like on the bottle, was there any particulars? I don't see any. But the color on this is beautiful. Viscosity is great. Just, ooh.
Woody.
That's, well, on the nose, it's like super caramel. I haven't had a caramel note yet. And that's like caramel. That's like the caramel at the fair. You're between the caramel apple guy and the caramel corn guy. Oh, really? Yeah. You know, I don't remember what I paid. I know I paid MSRP for it. I don't remember what MSRP is on the Knob 15. I didn't break the bank. I remember thinking I was kind of surprised. Now, I bought this bottle out in Lee Summit, Missouri. One of my very best friends lives out in Lee Summit, Missouri. And they have a Lucas Liquor out there. And they have a bunch of, they got a bunch of really good booze out there. And sometimes I'll get a hold of him and say, hey, can you go out to Lucas Liquor or go to a couple places and tell me what you're seeing? And so he'll go out and look for me. And if he sees some stuff, he'll hook me up. Yeah, I don't think I paid much more than $100 for it. I mean, that's what I was thinking, Daniel. I was thinking it was right around $100.
MSRP $100.
Yeah, $100. Yeah. So the gunny just looked it up. It is $100 MSRP. And I think that's what I paid for it. I don't remember it being inflated. Because if it would have been inflated, I wouldn't have bought it. Daniel, you'll have to text me your shirt size. But boy, this is like caramel. I mean, it does have some florals in it. So, I mean, it's definitely got to have a rye second. There's got to be a rye in this. I'd be interested to, I don't know the mash bill off the top of my head.
I think the age masks the proof.
Yeah, the age definitely does. Because it does not smell. I mean, you don't get that high, with it sounding weird, like up into your olfactory. You want to be careful when you come into your nose. You don't want to blow out your olfactory because if it's too hot, you're just like smelling vapors and then you're in vapor lock and you can't do anything. This doesn't smell like that at all. It doesn't smell even 100 proof. I'm not getting any of that stuff up there. Oh, wood, but caramel.
Second sip was a little more tingly than the first sip.
Yeah, but boy, there's a big wood note there. And there's not very many things that I get wood in mid palate. Mm-hmm. I usually almost always get wood on my finish. Even the Evan Williams 23, I don't get on the mid palate. I get it on the finish. Well, I'll tell you what, Daniel. I will. I'll get a hold of Michael out in Lee Summit and see if he's able to find. You know, I'll get with you. I'll get with you. So, but yeah, this right here. So this knob 15 is really good.
Worth having.
Yeah, it's worth having. If you find it, I don't think I would be upset paying 150 for it.
It's good.
I don't know that I would go much above that, but I would pay above MSRP for it.
You know who your friends are.
Yeah, it's I would go that high. It's really good. I mean, yeah, it's got a woody finish, but the tannings aren't so much that you're sitting there with a bitter note.
No.
I don't have a bitter, heavy tannings that you sometimes can get with something that's got a lot of oak to it. And that's on the finish. But on the palate is delicious on this guy.
Might be a great mixer if you're chasing your palate.
Yeah, definitely. But you definitely get like barrel.
Yeah.
I mean, I get barrel mid palate like that, like straight up. But I'm digging it.
Get something you like, but it needs just a little bit of wood in it.
So you know what? I'm serious. You know that knob 12 as the base. It's got to be the base.
Yeah.
It has to be the base because I think the mid palate wood hits a little early for me. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So Daniel just said, did the Gunny just call knob 15 a great mixer? And I said, well, yes, he did. So, but you know, I think the thing is, right, you have to. So I think people misunderstand why we blend.
It's a blender.
Yeah, it's a blender.
Not a mixer, a blender.
I think the thing that people misunderstand sometimes are like, why would you blend good bourbon? Well, because something else is missing something. So you want to look at, wow, this would be really good if.
According to me.
Yeah. And it's your thoughts, right? And that's the thing, right? I'm looking for something that says, hey, wow, this is really good, but man, if this had a little bit of wood in it, or wow, if this had a little bit more proof. So you think of those things. What can I use to do those things to make it the best I can make it for me? Yeah, I still have 9. Well, I'm going to mix them all, but I do have 9, 12 sitting over here poured already.
That brings to the table what I need without taking away what I already like.
Right. And that's the thing, right? When you're blending, I'm not trying to remove the things I like. I'm trying to enhance it.
Right.
How do I enhance what I like? Exactly. You're dead on. Mike eating sushi. You listen, I love sushi. So the bigger question, are you eating sushi? Are you eating nigori? Are you eating sashimi? Yeah, I'm that kind of nerd. So I'm just giving you shit. You know, but that's the thing that's great about Booker's, right? Booker's has this great complexity. It is such a good bourbon. It has proof that doesn't kill you. Sometimes it's hot. But they have so many different things that you look for in the idea of, I really like it. And you're going to have certain batches that you really like. But then there's some like Teresa's and you're like, yeah, what the hell was he thinking there? Then you sit there and think, okay, well, it has everything else I like. What can I add to it? Well, okay, so if I'm looking at like Teresa's batch, right? Teresa's batch was not a stellar Booker's, not at all. It was like, what did you do to my Booker's? Throw your Teresa's batch in there and splash it with knob 12. Holy Christ. You literally just made probably arguably one of your best blends. You know, and that's the thing, right? Is just figuring out how do I make something I like or dislike better. Because why would you get rid of who? Listen, if I paid $10 for something, you can bet your ass I'm going to make it better because I ain't throwing anything away. There's zero chance of me throwing something away.
It's making my palate happy.
Exactly. And that's what it's about. It's about your palate. I'm just giving you advice based on if you line up with my palate in general. And I'm saying that, hey, this is what I'm getting. You might find you like it. But at the same time, you could look at it like, I think his palate's shit. So I'm not going to do that. Well, do just the opposite. It's not rocket science, but it's just being honest, right? But if you're going to go through and decide whether something's good or not, you have to take the time when you taste. My most frustrating thing in Instagram, the tubes, everywhere, people don't give the time for the master distiller. And I say this because a perfect example, I just reviewed Woodinville Cask. Their tasting notes said chocolate. The first 3 sips, there was no hint of chocolate. You would instantly think, this guy's full of crap. So I put the back blast aside, did my second pour. I always do a second pour. I do a second pour. You get that second pour, you're like, wait, there's something coming. This changed from like Cinnamon Toast Crunch to something different. Something's changed. And you go through that. And then when I went back to the back blast, which wasn't really that long. I mean, the whole entire video was only 20 minutes. But after 20 minutes, I would say after about 15 minutes of actually sitting aside, it opened up to it tasted like Cinnamon Toast Crunch with chocolate. If you took Hershey syrup and was like, woo. Well, Mike, she's on her live feed right now, but she would definitely want you to pop that knob 12, not the rare breed rye. She doesn't like rye. She tolerates it, and she's really trying to like the Knob Creek store pick rye I sent her. I told her, I said, decant it, let it age. It needs to open up. But yeah, of the 2 you're doing right there, you have the rare breed rye, the knob 12. Do the knob 12 because she's not doing any ryes tonight. Neither am I. And that knob 12 is delicious. And I'll be honest with you, depending on if you're using wasabi or not, I think it'll be all right. So if you're using wasabi, at least the Knob Creek has enough sweetness to it. It should knock it down.
You probably need to go and deliberately look for the Nestle's Quick Powder with a little metal cap that you take a metal spoon and pop it off. And then just smell the can.
You're talking about Nesquik?
Nesquik.
The old rabbit?
The old rabbit one.
Yeah, so
take a metal spoon and pop the cap off.
We're showing our age. You're current rabbit. The old Nesquik rabbit used to go, he was always chasing like the Nesquik powder, right? Maybe I'm thinking of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But anyway, there was a rabbit for Nesquik, right? So Nesquik powder, a lot of times when I'm talking about cocoa and that stuff, both me and the guy, we're both talking about powder, not so much the wasabi. That rare breed rye is a perfect. Well, that it depends, right? The rare breed rye, I agree with, depending on. Okay, so if you're having your wasabi, I agree with part of that, right? The wasabi is really good because you have that. Is your wasabi straight? Or is your wasabi in your soy sauce? Because that changes it. That changes the whole complexity. And if you're one of those guys that really gets into it, you're going to take some of your wasabi and you're going to throw it in your soy sauce, and then you're going to actually put in your ginger. Well, that changes it too. Don't you be kidding with me, Daniel. I know my sushi, sashimi, nigori. How do you think I got skinny? You know what would be great, though? Go buy yourself a freaking sushi roll, and instead of putting soy sauce in it, Knob Creek 12 might be an interesting drop in there. That rice will soak it right up, and there you have. You have a freaking bourbon sushi bomb. I would do it with I'd probably do it with the salmon, though.
How many people can give notes on that?
You know what? I'm gonna have to do a sushi bourbon.
Oh, great! Now he's challenging.
Oh, son of a gun! I'm gonna have to do a.
Conflat it.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that's the thing, right? Take your roll, and instead of putting soy or anything like that in it, you know what? Dip it in some bourbon. Can't hurt. Might taste funky, but it might. You know what? By the time you're done with your big sushi platter, you might be like feeling all right and not really care anyway.
Or you can say, "I tried that. It tastes like crap."
Yeah.
You speak from experience.
Yeah, soy will, because you know the soy is so salty. That's the problem with that. Yeah, so on a serious note though, let that 12 breathe. But I will tell you this, while it's breathing, if you want to do it really due diligence, what I suggest is give yourself a slight pour and chew it. Step one, just chew it, get it over with. As soon as you're done eating your sushi, go straight into it. Yum yum sauce, Daniel. I swear to God. And but go in as soon as you're done with your sushi. Grab yourself a swig of your Knob 12 and just freaking chew it. Mouthwash it. Make everything burn and hurt, and just get it over with. Sides of your tongue will numb up. Your gums will numb up. Everything, but you'll be done with it. Just get it over with.
You take your punch to the face. Move on.
You know, it's not the first time you're drinking, so you know, I think that's the thing that we all have to get to the point of. It's just, hey, we know there's going to be things that happen on the first sip. Get it over with. Get it over with, and hey, you're good to go.
So which are you going to put in your 12?
My 12?
Which one are you going to put in?
What do you mean?
Going to do it this way?
Well, I have to add. I have to proportion my stuff. I have to make my heaviest base is going to be my 12. So I need it to be 2 parts to 1 part of the other ones.
Okay. I'm going to mix it this way first then.
All right. So I've been through those. The Knob 15 is really good. Right. So on a more serious note, I think each one of them by themselves is very good. Very good. No doubt about it.
They bring different things to the table.
They each one brings something different. The Knob 9 brings a little oomph with it, but doesn't have a big caramel.
Great mouthfeel.
Yeah, mouthfeels are there. If you're a person that has to have the mouthfeels, Knob 9 brings that. But it brings the identity of a high rye. It just does. I mean, I pulled florals off of it. I pulled allspice off of it. I was pulling things that are like an all. I mean, I knew it was corn forward. I said that right away. It's sweet forward. It's corn forward. And those things were true. The Knob 12, flavor bomb. It did not drink to me like 100 proof. It drank to me like this big coating, heavy elixir that just like, it's like the greatest grandma quilt ever for your palate. It just like coats and you're like, oh, that's right. That makes me happy. Well, I have that, but I'm on a knob night, Daniel. I can't be putting Makers Series 4 or PR5 in here. But, all right. So, for the sake of seeing what I'm doing, I'm going to tilt the camera just a smidge here, right? Just for a second. Right? So, knob 12 is the center guy. Right? So, I have knob 9, knob 12, and 15. So 12 is going to be my base pour. So I need to make it double what I plan on the other ones being. So I'm going to do it, right? So let's get the knob 12. I'm going to pour it girthy. So I got a girthy pour there. You need this?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Knob 9. I'm going to pour just a smidge here to equal my knob 12 or 15. Okay, so this is my 15, my 12. This is my 15, and this is my 9. They're about equal. So we're going to do this. And we're going to do this. So what I'm hoping to do is knock down the tannings a little bit because the tannings were so high on the mid palate, and add some fruit notes, but take that sweet caramel knob 12 and spice it up with some of the knob 9. And what I expect to have is probably the best of all three of them blended.
Well, I mixed the 12 with the 9. It was still really hot for me. But once the 15 went on it, it was a holy ball game.
The 15 knocked it down. Well, I think that's it, right? So this is the blend color of both of them. I'll try to put it where you don't have like all the darkness behind it. It's really dark. I mean, it's dark. No doubt about it. That's dark. So I'm going to let it marry for a little bit. I just like it to marry around a little bit, and I want it to infuse as much as I possibly can, but I'll nose it in the meantime. Wow, that's soft. That's really
I
soft.
mixed them slower. I put the 9 with the 12 first, and then tasted it. I said, "Wow!" To me, it really still stingy, still a little hot. So, but it was missing a little bit of the wood flavor. And then once I followed that up with mixing the 15, bingo.
Yeah, that's delicious. Right now, I literally, honest to God, I mean, I throw out whatever comes to my mind, and that right there tastes like or smells like a maple Pop-Tart.
But what the 9 overshadowed, 15 brought back.
It's like a maple Pop-Tart. I swear to God, it's like a maple Pop-Tart.
Yeah.
Redemption. Yeah. You know what? I'll tell you what. Redemption's some good stuff, Mike. No doubt about it. Mike Stahl, is knob 15 worth $99 all day long? Buy them. Just buy them. Hook up your brothers that are in the community that can't get it. $99. I had no problem paying $150 for that.
Redemption is underrated.
Yeah. Well, Redemption's recently been like
people getting the clue.
People getting the clue on the Redemption.
Yeah, Redemption's always been a really well kept secret.
Well, because it's MGP, right?
Well, there's so many other things to look at. It's kind of boring.
Yeah.
You kind of bypass it.
Yeah, that no doubt about it though. Redemption is very good.
It's worth pursuing.
Redemption's been good for years and years, but for whatever reason, people have just
they changed it to a boring bottle.
It's just like Baker's 108. Right? People are just now like looking at Baker's 108 and it's like, hey, this is good stuff. Duh. It's probably one of the best bean products out there.
Like that turkey, they took it out of a fancy bottle, put it in a boring bottle.
Yeah.
Redemption did the same thing.
Yeah.
They put it in a boring bottle.
Yeah. When you have a boring bottle, people overlook it. Like how many times do you see anybody running out to get Kentucky Spirit?
Exactly.
Once they got rid of the turkey feather bottle, everybody's like, oh, that just looks like any other bottle.
They need to put Henry McKenna in a boring bottle.
Yeah. They need to put Henry McKenna in a lackluster, worthless bottle with a terrible label. So let's go to this. So it's soft. What I mean by that is just there's nothing about that that's hurtful to your nose. I don't think you would nose that and think that was over 90 proof. Although we know it is. But I get like on the right side of my nose. I definitely get some spice. I get some like allspice, maybe some ginger, maybe a smidge of cinnamon. But on the left side, it's like this big bourbon bomb.
Pull out my calculator here real quick. Let's see.
I mean, really, really caramel. Both of them together is caramel, cocoa, maybe like a Ghirardelli sea salt caramel, but heavy cocoa, not like milk chocolate. They have that nasty Ghirardelli like blase cocoa, and you like, oh, that's chocolate, blah blah, and you taste it, and you're like, oh, what the hell? I just stuck my tongue in a thing of like cocoa powder. Oh yeah, I agree completely. More people buy it for the flipping horse and the bottle design than the actual, spirit inside.
Or blends.
Blands, yeah. And there's a lot of this. I can tell you for a fact, without question, for me, I would take Weller Special Reserve over Blanton's every day of the week, without a doubt. Not just because of price point. I have Blanton's. I have quite a few Blantons that I have never went back to. If I was to do a blind with someone on a channel and they was like, "Oh, that's Blanton's," I was like, I wouldn't even be able to tell you. I probably haven't tried a Blanton's in years. It just isn't like overwhelmingly good to my palate. Quite honestly, I would probably blend it. I'm not saying it's bad. I understand why people like it. The thing with blends is it's a drinker. And I'm not into drinkers. I'm not trying to get to effect A or Z. I want mouthfeels. I want taste. I want the complexity. I want to feel and taste all the things that make it what it is. And when you take something and make it really smooth and simple, well, then I think you take away from that. And I think it's also palate evolution, right? We've talked about it before, that it's palate evolution. It doesn't mean that I think Bland's is bad. I've never said that Bland's is bad. Bland's is good. But it's good for palate X. If you don't have palate X, you've probably either below it or advanced past it. And I think that's the thing that's important about it.
You can't dismiss the fact of blowing your friends away.
Yeah.
Who have not had it.
Yeah, well, Bland's is not a $150 bottle. No chance in hell. I mean, at $61, I'm perplexed. At $61, I can buy rare breed. Where in the world does Bland's come in with a rare breed?
That blend kicks us down to like 105.
105? All right, let's go to the palate with this guy. I've been nursing. I've just been waiting for it to marry.
I'm in love with 105. 105 is more in my wheelhouse.
Whoa, there's no bite at all.
That's nice.
Wow. You get a little mid palate thing. Ooh.
It still tingles from the wood and from the proof.
It's
like
it's
not unpleasant.
No. So it did kick down the tannins. They're still present, but they're not overwhelmingly present on the mid palate.
You can't dismiss 100 proof. It still kicks butt.
Yeah.
This is 105.
Yeah. This is so the gunny did the math. This computes to 105. And that's in his wheelhouse. But quite honestly, this isn't hurting me at all. I'm enjoying this. The finish on this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. It has this weird combination of there's still tanning notes. There's still a wood presence, but there is a shockingly sweet wood presence that I'm not even going to say cocoa because it's not cocoa, but there's something there. There's something that's like lingering. It's like everybody on the tubes. It's lurking. It's just lurking. And man, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
So far, first pour. I'm not saying that this blend is better than each of them individually, but I am.
I want your volume instead of my volume as we hit the cigar.
This is, without a doubt, a delicious blend. Your 12, and Daniel pegged it, your 12 has to be the source. So 2 parts 12, 1 part 9, 1 part 15. You're taking this big, bold, sweet 12, amping it up in proof, and bringing tannins in to make this gorgeous, gorgeous drink. And it absolutely would pair all day long with a cigar.
You're not mixing a whole bottle. You're only mixing a glass.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, right? You have to understand that, and Gunny was dead on with this. Some people think like you're mixing a bunch of stuff. Oh, I'm not. I mean, I really haven't. there's two of us doing it, right? And this is a big pour. But if you look at it, you're doing little pours of each one of them. So my knob 15 only has this much gone. It's still practically a full bottle. And that's the beauty of blends, right? My knob 12 was a brand new bottle. It's the same. The Gunny might have had an extra pour of 12. I'm pretty sure he did. But I'm still not below the wrapper on any of them. Even my knob 9, well, my knob 9 was open beforehand. But before, it's still, you know, I mean, that's the beauty of blending. You can get something that's really good. And if you blend it right with a couple of different ones, then you can nurse them.
A great experience.
So I would start with, Daniel, I think I would go higher. I'm pretty sure that, you know what, start with that. Start with a 1 ounce of 12 and a half of each other. I'm pretty sure I did a 2 ounce and 1. I'm not even like sugarcoating that at all. I'm pretty sure I did that.
Yeah, it was 2-1-1.
Yeah, because I mean, I've had like 3 sips of this and I still have a girthy pour here.
That's pretty damn good.
That's really good. There ain't no doubt about it. That's really good. I would say for anybody that follows me on Wednesday, Blendsday, and I know that there's some loyal people out there that have done my blends multiple times. Yeah, for a single pour, absolutely, Daniel. I think it's fine. I think you'll find though that what comes out of that 1 ounce and half is so good you're going to want to add it a little bit more.
And that's typically what I do, either a 1/2 ounce or 3/4 ounce.
Yeah.
Per part.
But a second ago, what did you say? I wish I had your pour.
Yeah, I wish I had your pour.
So, but I think the reason why I do it this, right, is because I'm talking about it and I'm telling you what I'm doing, but at the same time, I'm trying to acclimate because I have a new spirit. It's completely different. So I want to see what it's going to do. So I think that when you're talking about doing a 1 ounce and a half, you're talking about 2 ounces. Well, it depends on how long you can nurse that. Because I think you have to nurse it. You want to see what it's going to become. Because it may become something really, really special. Even though it's really good on my first and second sip, I have a feeling that this is going to turn into a freaking sweet bomb.
All I got left is the back blast.
Yeah, you're almost done. Yeah, the Gunny kind of doesn't talk as much as I do. Therefore, I'm usually like, there's no way in the world. There's no way. I promise you, there's no way at all you're saying that is 105 proof.
What will be interesting is to compare what does that new concoction compare to on the market.
I'm telling you right now.
What a challenge.
I have something that comes to mind. You know what this tastes like to me? Just off the top of my head, just like blah. If I took Evan Williams 23 and mixed it with Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel, it tastes like, I mean, I have girthiness to it. And that makes sense because I have a 9, a 12, and a 15. Well, Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel, your Heaven Hills Toasted Barrel.
Still 94.
It's still only 94 proof.
What you got?
But the Evan Williams 23 is 107. And so you're
taking the wood.
Yeah, but it's got the wood, it's got the tannings, it's got the girth. Yeah.
Brings to 100.5.
You feel like jumped over here for a second?
Nah. I'm cool with that.
But, well, so we've went through the gamut. We've realized that, so my proof is 101.7. So, yeah, I think that would work too, Daniel. But what I've discovered in this guy, you should be, that's the bad thing about having a Blue Yeti. It picks up everything. There's no chance of it not picking up anything in the house. I think I did what was it, a Blendsday, and the wife had the crazy crochet club upstairs. And they were so loud, everybody could hear them down here. That's like 3 people. You'd think it's crazy. But, at the same time, you have to go through and, hey, listen, I'm an honest guy. I don't edit anything. I just am what I am. So
you're at the 0 hour anyway.
I am at the 0 hour.
Brianna's probably in her groove.
Yeah. So I do want everybody to go. She's 36 minutes into it. Whiskey Mountains is going on. Go over there. If you haven't subbed her, sub her. I hope you sub me. Like the video. The more likes we get, I'm the same. Like mine, like hers. I want you guys to get a chance to go over to her first live feed. So, but this concoction is the bomb. I may even blend this and send it to Adriana just so that she goes and hikes a big mountain.
Make yourself a flask of it.
Oh, a flask?
It won't take long to make a flask of it.
No, not at all.
It won't take long to get through that flask
all right.
either.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I love you all. And as always, be good to those that are good to you. Be nice to someone. Someone may just be waiting for you to be nice to them. Drink your bourbon neat. Give it a second pour. Give it a back blast. Walk the dog. Take the time. It's worth it. I appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys. I'm going to check out. I'll probably jump over to Adriana and see you guys there, right? So until the next time, which is Friday, I'm going to do a live with Perry Ritter from This Is My Bourbon podcast. I'll talk to you all later. Cheers, guys.